Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm recording this in late April. I do tutoring, and some of my students are getting ready for prom, and something came up that one of my students is going to prom by herself, and it hit me that 20 years ago, that was not nearly as susceptible. It was completely, out of the park 20 years ago. 10 years ago was a little bit more acceptable, but even then, there was a lot of, uh, pressure against doing that. Nowadays, it's just fully acceptable, and, it makes me, want to go into a time machine and travel 100 years into the future. It really does. Every time I hear about humans going back to the moon, I keep thinking that maybe we could do some relativistic travel and I could just get in that machine. Not to mention all my investments will have paid off, right? 100 years from now, bismuth will probably be worth more than gold. I'll put it in a safe place, go on the spaceship, travel 100 years into the future, come back, be accepted for who I am, and have $1 trillion worth of bismuth, right? I keep thinking about that. I just daydreaming about that sometimes. Obviously, the other way to travel 100 years into the future, the much more preferred way for me is to just stay healthy and travel 100 years into the future that way, right? That's probably what I'll do. But I guarantee 100 years from now that I'll be a whole lot more accepted. And that really gets me going. When I'm having a bad day, I think about how every day I'm being accepted a little bit more than the day before. I really do feel that way. So that's good. Now, the other thing that really got me envious about my students is that nowadays it's a whole lot more acceptable to eat healthier. You know, when my student goes to prom and she doesn't want to drink soda or she says no to certain foods, yeah, there's still some barrier, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was 20 years ago, right? Not to mention, YouTube didn't exist 20 years ago, and there's a lot of good advice you can find here, right? A lot of things that information you can find about eating healthier, about being accepted for who you are, about LGBTQ. Oh my God, all that information was not easy to find 20 years ago, right? It just makes you really envious. But then I have to remember I got to take good care of myself so that I can see the next 20 years and all the good things that will come and eventually see bismuth be worth more than gold and to see love being accepted for what it is, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Let's do it again. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.